Hey everybody, Mike with the 1974 GMC. I'm waiting on some parts for my air cleaner system, so nothing on the fuel injection today. But what I did yesterday was wired up the cruise control. And if you'll remember, I had it wired for this AudioVox electronic cruise control, which wasn't working, and one of the viewers was nice enough to donate me a electronic cruise out of a GM truck, an older GM truck. And so I found this wiring diagram online, and then I kind of went through it, figured out what I needed, and basically this was the connector, the letter designation of the connectors and what each item was. So you got cruise on, 12 volts, set, momentary 12 volts, resume, accelerate, momentary 12 volts. D is a positive 12 volts when the brake is off. That's one I didn't have. E ground. F is hot and run. G is 12 volts when the brake is applied. And then this is for a cruise status lamp, which I didn't have, and then your vehicle speed signal. And then these were the colors of the wires that were used on my on the AudioVox. So I got that all wired up. The only thing is now I need a switch with two sets of contacts on it for the brake pedal, and I have one on order. It's a factory GM part, but so here's I have the thing off the dash, and there's my current brake switch, and these are the two wires that will provide the 12 volts when the brake is not applied. So it's a circuit check, to make sure that when you press the brake, you flip-flop the two. And so on the old one, on the AudioVox, what it needed to see was the 12 volts when you press the brake, and when you release the brake, it had to be grounded. So that was set up basically to take it right off of the brake, the wire that goes back to the brake lamps, because when it's not 12 volts, it's grounded through the light bulb. And if you'll remember, I had a little bit of trouble with that because I put LED lights in and it wasn't grounded through there. But so at any rate, that's why there's two wires or two switches associated with the brake. So today I've been messing around, and I've wanted to add a vacuum pump to the brake booster. And so I bought this kit on Amazon. It's about 170 bucks, something like that, and came with the pump. I've already installed the rubber feet. There's a switch to turn it on and off, a relay that the switch controls. There's an air expulsion valve, probably to quiet that, like a muffler to quiet it down, and some hose, and then some wire. The wire's probably not going to be long enough. So I guess the next step is to mount this, and I have figured out the location that I want to mount it. I'm just going to pause you, and I'll show you. Well, I guess we can go look at what I did, because I made a couple little brackets to mount it on. So the vacuum switch is going to mount right here to the side of the core support, and there was already a threaded fastener there. And then if you look down there, I made a couple of aluminum rails that bolt to my air compressor support, and the vacuum pump will mount there. So I'll get a picture of that. Get you a look from the bottom. Turn the light on. There's that GM Cruise module that I was talking about. It's all electronic, just has a cable running to the throttle body. And then if we come down here, you can see I don't know if I can get far enough away, but yeah, you can see there's the rails that I put in for supporting this new pump. So let me pause you, and I will install those two things so you get a view of that. All right, everybody, I'm back. What I didn't talk about is why I'm putting this vacuum pump on. So what it does is, and my coach had one at some point in its life. There was a bracket, there was no pump, and then the other thing is this. You can see this master cylinder vacuum booster has two attachments. This is the one coming from the engine, and this is the one that's now coming from this new pump. And so you can see there it's connected to the vacuum switch, and then that hose runs on down and is connected to the vacuum pump down there. You can see I put that little muffler on there. So the reason for this is I don't know if any of you have ever driven yours and had an engine failure or had the engine quit, which I did many times when I first got it because the engine didn't run that good and I was trying to get it running. And when the engine quits, you have one push of the brakes and then you're pretty much done. Then it's just manual brakes, and probably worse than manual brakes because of that vacuum booster that you have to move also. So this should keep vacuum on the booster even with the engine not running. So if you can imagine if you were in the hills and your engine quit and you lost vacuum, this provides that vacuum so that you still have brakes going down that steep hill out west. So, all right, all there is left to do is wire it up, and I got to do a little research for that because that's one thing about this kit is it did not come with any instructions on the wiring. So I've just got to figure out the relay wiring and get it wired up. All right, everybody, have a great day.